Alright, guys, it's time for the Carbon Tax iCast, your freaking awesome replays, where you try to piss off your opponent as much as possible. So yeah, basically you want to steal their gas and try to, you know, save the Caprulu sector from the inherent existential doom that is Amon. AKA, you know, he's basically just an environmental crisis. A big cloud of gas turned into this big crazy mother trucker. So we've got to stop mining gas. Let's see what the players did. I just played a few games on ladder. One of them worked, funnily enough, even though my probe got killed before it could steal the second gas. And I would say barely lost. Some would say I got crushed, but I barely lost where I went and stole 2 gases at the start. Hey, he's doing what I just did. Oh my God. He puts down the no gas meter as well. I'll leave you, you goddamn god. Up here in the top left. I forgot they put down a new gas tag, guys. He just used the no gas, the empty gas meter spray tag. That just came out in the war chest last week. And leave you quick to the ball. Uses the tag, sprays it down in the base, and steals both of Alaris's gases. So this is going to be amazing. Yes, it's already made him panic. Alaris is like, I'm going to build a forge so I can cannon rush these gases, and at the same time I'm going to pull half my mineral iron. Oh my god, this is costing so much. This is actually insane, guys. This is ridiculous. Sorry, give me 1 second here. And back into game. Sorry, I had to tab out for a second there and just turn the sound setting down slightly. And we've got... Oh, you're kidding me. Burrow is on the way as well. This is going to be great. Leaview's economy is so shit right now due to sending 2 of his very first workers across the map. But, talk about forcing an overreaction. Alaris is like, what the shit is happening right now, dude? I've just had to waste a ton of mining time to clear 2 gases. I'm going to start me gases. Start a cybercore, but I mean, what are we doing? We're pinned in on one base here. Like, this is about as awkward of an opening as you can possibly have as a Protoss player. Meanwhile, a couple Zerglings on the way, Burrows on the way, Link Speed's on the way. These Zerglings clearly have a mission, and that is burrow here and block the Nexus, and that's going to be amazing. Casper, what's up, chat? Casper says, Pig, have you ever been into Dota? I played a shit ton of Dota 1. I was never a good competitive player, but we played a shit ton, just, you know, shitty pub matches and playing at LAN. And you're like, oh, you went to LAN competitions? No. Like the local LAN center where you'd play like the other group of guys and like they'd like pause suddenly and you'd be like, oh, why'd you guys pause the game? They're like, oh, our friend's getting jumped downstairs. And you're like, what? You like go outside and there's dudes with baseball bats like breaking each other's legs and you're like, welcome to the Dota community where everybody apparently is in a gang and is constantly either beating up the people who just beat them in the Dota game or is interrupting their Dota games to run outside to fight random people. If you want to look up videos, look up Pinoy Dota, Filipino Dota. He's not going to block the Nexus. I'll get back to that story, but look up videos of like of Pinoy Internet Cafe Dota fights. There's so many of them, it's amazing, and those are just the ones that are caught on camera from the old Dota 1 days. Don't know if it's the same in Dota 2. He's actually blocking those gases. For those who don't know, you can normally block a gas simply by standing right up against it, because an assimilator, extractor, or refinery takes up a bit more space. So if you hold position a worker, they can't take the gas. If you hold position it right up against the next to it. There used to be a way around it, which I think they removed. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. They used to be able to just hold position a worker, but if they didn't have vision of you blocking it, they could place the structure down from outside of vision and it would ignore the fact that it was blocked. What's amazing about this, guys, is blocking the Nexus is the high value move, but what we're seeing here is carbon tax being enforced through a brutal set of restrictions. He's actually just saying you can't even take those gases. It's going to be like 5 minutes before Alaris even realizes this is happening. Believe you, with some big brain plays really trying to limit the opponent. Now, unfortunately for Leaveview has fucking no economy. Has gone Roachroar and Bane Nest off 16 drones, is going up to 3 bases, but literally doesn't even have 1 base of mineral mining right now. This is the literal worst Zerg economy you guys have ever seen. Oh, he's going for the gas! He's going for the gas, and it's blocked! Get wrecked. Alaris is like, oh, the Zergling killed my probe. That's why that gas didn't go down, right? I'm trying to build Void Rays and +1 air weapons. I can't wait to see him go for another. I'm gonna go to Alaris's camera right now. There's a cannon in the mineral. This has got to be like not that high level, right? I think this is like Silver League, yeah? 29 APM. All right, Alaris, go for the gases, go for the gases, go for the gases, go for the gases. I want to see the response. Alaris is like, yeah, I've got me Void Ray. Now I'm building me Tempest, which is just hilarious, by the way. Tempest. There's still like 16 drones. He's massing Spore Crawlers and Queens right now, but Leave still does not have an economy. If Leave had built an economy at some point, that would be amazing. Oh, here we go, gases. Take those gases. You're just gonna be so confused. I don't even know if he's a high enough player to realize. At this league, no, he's realized. Oh my God, yes. There's no way someone in Silver League understands what's happening either. I wouldn't understand what was happening. If my gases wouldn't go down, I would just be confused. Because there's no reason anyone would ever burrow a Zergling next to a gas geyser. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard of. And he hasn't realized now. He's just staring at his Stargates, chrono boosting Tempests one at a time. Oh my God, we're just gonna keep casting this from Alaris. This is great. Yeah. Crater Moon says, yeah, I think the map was bugged. I think we would all think the map was bugged if this happened to us. This is amazing. And a Silver League player is just gonna be confused. He's gonna go for it again. No. Oh my God. Oh my God, Leave You. This is the most legendary thing I've ever seen. This is so silly. What's great, guys, is Leave You still has not built an economy behind it, so he's still way behind because he's going for like gases, hydrogen, and just has not held down the drone key. Again, Alaris is going for it again. It's like, what's happening? Why can't I take my gas? Oh my God. This is a next level troll strat right now. For those of you just tuning in, there are 2 Zerglings burrowed here. This is the carbon tax ICYFAR challenge where you have to limit your opponent's gas mining. And this is the most creative shit I've seen in a long time in ICYFAR. I love it when someone just like, I was like, oh yeah, you'll just gas steal them. Maybe you'll like harass, snipe the geysers, pick up and leave. I was not expecting someone to burrow Zerglings on the assimilators. And look at that, oh, the cannon's gonna reveal it. Okay, Alaris sees the Zergling, but he still doesn't realize. He's like, why can't I build this gas? He's too low level to realize there's a Zergling. No, he's seen it. He's seen it. Okay, finally. He's like, wait a second. And he's taking gases at the 3rd, by the way. He's gonna long distance mine. He's cannoning his own natural just to get his gas geysers. Meanwhile, behind this, Leave You is just showing a spectacular display of not knowing how to build an economy. I'm sorry, Leave You. I love this strategy, but you need an economy. You still haven't got more than 5 drones on your natural. You're going triple Evo chamber. Just hold down the worker key and the overlord key. Please, Leave You's building Hydras. As if he's been Florencio'd in this game and is way behind. That Zergling unburrows, tries to escape, gets taken down by the Tempests. I love that this dude's long distance mining. Finally, these gases are going down. Alaris trying to get that up. More Hydras being built off a 1.5 base economy. Oh, Leave You. This would be so in the bag just for the amount of APM that's being drained from the opponent and attention and confusion. If we were going to, what I do like is there's Hydra upgrades, right? We've got move speed. I think, yeah, Groove Spines is queued up. If more drones got queued, this would be a game winner. 100% this would be a game winner, guys. So we're just gonna have to keep our eyes on this and see exactly how we go and kick some ass. Guys, remind me after this game, I gotta go check if my passport's arrived. I'm so nervous about it. I need my fucking passport. Gotta be flying out tomorrow to Korea. Blizzcon's coming up. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I don't know if we'll see too many burrowed Zerglings blocking gas geysers at BlizzCon, but you know, you never know. He's gonna come out and he's putting another worker on gas here and building a Nexus as well. Good to see. Got to get a bit more gas mining. That is the limiting resource when your natural gases have been blocked for 5 minutes and you're trying to mass air. I love how so many people mass Tempest, by the way. The Tempest is like the shittiest unit unless your opponent just like has really, really slow ground units and you like micro it backwards over buildings and cliffs. In terms of raw damage output, the Tempest is like one of the most fancy ships in the arsenal, yet the number of times I see people go straight to Tempests and then still win games because their opponent gets confused and just kind of like slowly lets them kill them is kind of incredible. Leave You now holds down the drone key and actually gets up a decent little economy, but it's a little bit late in this game. And right now we're seeing 6 Hydralisks push against 6 capital ships. I'm pretty sure the capital ships win that fight. The problem is they're not in position. And let's look at the reaction speed. Alaris's base has now been under assault for about 20 seconds. We're going to go to Alaris's camera, looks at the base, looks at the army, boxes it. That's right, there's no army control group, but I could tell he boxed it there. And then he moves to the natural and starts building more cannon. Oh, he's going to give up the third! Your army's like 3 times bigger than his. Alaris, though, says, you know what, a couple of roaches and hydras, I don't know if I can fight that. Freaks the hell out and starts massing cannons and batteries. And this gives Leave space to finally drone the hell up and get up that economy advantage. So some very nice moves there. Does deny that third base gas. Hydras have got double upgrades, 2-2 on the way. Mass Hydra can definitely take this army out because this is just 2 Stargate Carrier and Tempest is still being mixed in. Tempests actually just lose to Hydras unless they're microed incredibly well. And Carriers, I don't know how it goes if you've got like 100 supply of Carriers, 100 supply of Hydras. I think the Carriers win just barely, but not by that much. And since the Hydras can explode out a lot faster, as long as there's no Storm on the ground and a lot of the supplies in Void Rays and Tempests, Hydras can eliminate this army. They just A-move, kill all the interceptors, and destroy everything else. That being said, guys, we are clearly watching a little bit of a lower paced game, as you can see from the APM tab. So I would say keep your eyes open for the big brain move, where you take your Hydras and then you right click them on one carrier at the back of the army, and your whole Hydra ball move commands through, getting itself murdered as it goes, and then damages one carrier while losing your entire army. Because that is one move where a Hydra army attack moved can crush this army if you've got like just a little bit more supply than them. If you right click on one of these air units, you will lose so one-sidedly because your Hydras will all die just trying to waddle their way forward and attack one of the back units. So keep your eyes open. I can sense that that's probably going to be happening. I think it's on the way. I think it's coming. Now, we've got some Zerglings all over the place. I'd love to see some Zerglings come in and try to harass this base or something like that. Some good map vision here for Leave. Doesn't quite have a 4th base up yet. Is trying to take some gases on the 3rd. We are seeing a little bit of struggle economically. Leave realizing, crap, you've got another base of gas up. I wouldn't be surprised to see a big Hydra push come down and try to snipe that. Alaris still has equal army supply of goddamned capital ships, and they're capital ships with +2 attack as well. So even though it's going to be 2-2 Hydras in the near future, definitely a better army for the Protoss player. Ravages being made. I mean, if your opponent doesn't micro, Corrosive Bile can do okay against carriers. A bit fancy, but it can work. Still no 4th base on the way. Still no gases mining here. 4,000 minerals and a gas choke point on the way. Tons of cannons and batteries. You can see this Protoss player really enjoys a back and forth game of StarCraft where it's all about, action, harassing your opponent, and definitely not just doing the StarCraft equivalent of a dad hiding from his responsibilities, his family, and the incessant whining of his children by taking a 2.5-hour shit every day while playing phones on his, games on his phone. Definitely not. This isn't the StarCraft equivalent of the dad throne, where he's like, I need to go to the toilet, family, and just disappears for 2 hours. And like, do you have bowel problems, or are you just trying to avoid your responsibilities? He's like, I can't fucking stand being around you. I'm gonna fucking hide behind my wall of cannons. The Hydras come in, they click on a Tempest. Yeah, okay, Leave. I think realizing this is a bad fight. No, he's going back in. No. Oh my god, he just took out 2 Void Rays with those Biles. And now he's clicking on the carriers. He's actually taking a lot of them out. The +2/2 on these Hydras, doing way more. Another round of Biles lands. Are Ravages actually the hard counter to carriers and Tempests? He's actually taken out most of this army. Oh my god. This is such a more expensive Protoss army than a Zerg army. Look at that. Zerg loses the fight in that he loses his whole army, but is 2,000 resources ahead in the units lost. That was incredible. I have never seen a Protoss army microed better than that. You could tell this Alaris is actually playing StarCraft on his phone while taking a shit. He has like a really, really annoying family he's trying to avoid. He's like, I couldn't swipe my army out of position quickly enough. It's like, he's got some fucking StarCraft mod on his phone, man. To be fair, this is how I would also play StarCraft. If I was playing on my phone, man. I do feel like I'd probably open with a cannon rush, but like it does look like the level of play, right? Like, you control group your Stargates, you just make cannons, batteries, carriers and you just wait for the opponent to attack into you. Doesn't A-move across the map. If you look at the fantastic micro from Alaris realizes he's going to retreat rather than over the dead space. He's going to go over the creep, allowing the Hydras to have more movement speed to pursue him. Thankfully, Leave You does decide to move command past the Tempests, and all the Hydras, of course, have to touch a point on the ground rather than actually take the Tempests out. So both players making an interesting couple of micro choices. I love that Alaris here, he's still just F2 A-moving his army over creep. Just sits there. He's going to run once again, tries to run to the left in range rather than to the safety. This Carrier and Tempest he's going to actually run in the correct direction, but he's still going to lose it. Oh, man. Oh, God. Alaris's micro is something out of the Zerg's wet dream here, man. It's like, if only every player just sat their Carriers and Tempests over Corrosive Bile and also tried to retreat over creep every time rather than going over the cliff where the Hydras can't move. We've got one Carrier and one Tempest, and that's a shit ton of Hydras, guys. I think Alaris might be dead Laris right here. He's actually fudgetied. He's dead. He's like, ah, fuck. They won't stop shouting from outside the bathroom. Knew I should have played some goddamn crystal. What's the fucking crystal game called? I don't even play games on my phone, guy. The fucking crystal swipey shit. You should not play StarCraft when you're taking a shit on your phone, guys. It's a bad idea. That being said, Leave You. That was the best block I've ever seen in my life. You're a god. Anyone who just tuned in, I'm gonna go back and show you one more time. For anyone who's just tuned in or skipped the start of the video for whatever reason, you missed out on some godlike shit. So we saw Protoss is sitting there. He's like, just doing my build order. I'm doing me build, hanging out. And look at this fucking thing here. Look at this, guys. Comes in. Now Leave You says, you know what? I'm going to put down a spray tag that says, hey, you're out of gas. Alaris is like, what? I'm not out of gas. I have 2 gas geysers. Leave You's like, no, you don't. So not only throws down the spray tag saying no gas, steals both gases. From there, though, I still cannot believe. I was like, that's so good. Delay them in the main, get burrow, block the Nexus. But it turns out Leave You has a larger brain than any of us. Blocks the goddamn gases. The goddamn gas block. Let them take the Nexus, block their gases. Leave You has the largest brain of us all, guys. I mean, okay, so the first moment where the gas tried to get taken and blocked, 4 minutes 30. And Alaris was like 10 more attempts at taking the gas and could not understand. Tries to take it there. Again, that's number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Has to build a cannon there. And finally gets it. 4 minutes after the initial attempt. Yes, those were burrowed Zerglings, and Leave You wins creative badass of the day. That was amazing. Thank you very much for that replay. Don't forget to support the Patreon, guys. Sub to the channel, all that good stuff. More replays coming up in a sec. Info's down there in the comment section below. GG.